91.3 WYEP, that is His Golden Messenger, and this is weird. I'm Cindy Howes, on the air in the middle of the day. Well, we've got a treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a room full of WYEP members here. Can you give yourselves a round of applause for being awesome? And we are live and direct with the Pittsburgh band Townsppl. We were supposed to be on about a half hour ago, but due to technical difficulties, we're just a little later on, but we are happy to have Townsppl here. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Townsppll's new album, Twigs, is out. It's been out for a couple months, and Alex Stanton this is basically your creative project, so it's nice that you brought all your friends here with you today. Let's start with a song. Sounds good?
Okay, great. Yeah. Scream, it seems there's no one you might wake, except of course yourself, but that's a good chance to take. Build your days like diamonds, blue and green, and orange and red and yellow on the screen. But still you fail at last, and still forget to ask how a beautiful day has come to pass. We stand toe to toe when everything is just so. We count the days as they go, they go, they go, they go, they go nowhere. No, 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 nowhere. Pinch yourself, the day is almost done. Your vanquished foes are strewn across the lawn. Behold another job to prey upon, to love, to live your moment in the sun. But still you fail at last, and still forget to ask how a beautiful day has come to pass. We stand toe to toe when everything is just so. We count the days as they go, they go, they go, they go, they go nowhere. No, 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 nowhere. Toe to toe when everything is just so.
91.3 WYEP. We're live and direct with Townsppl, and you never really know who's gonna show up to a Townsppl gig. I don't know if you all know this, but it's like the lineup is always kind of different every show that you have. But Alex Stanton is always out in front. But Alex, can you introduce everybody on stage?
Sure, yeah. So to my right is Ernie Francisstein, who's a very long-time friend of mine, playing guitar, and also, yeah, Ernie. Woo. He's also a member of the band The Buckle Downs, which also includes our drummer today, Jonathan Goulden. Benny Rossman is playing bass today, and he's been playing with us for a long time. He also plays in a really fun, crazy funk band called Starship Mantis that you guys should take a look at and a listen to. And then singing with me today, we have Chloe Wyzorek, who's a good friend of mine, and Casey Hanner from the band Denora.
And all of these individuals on stage are actually teachers at your music school?
That is correct.
So what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, do you have this Sunburst School of Music, first of all, in Squirrel Hill? It's a music school for kids and adults. Do you have this music school so you can find band members?
Yeah. It's kind of worked out that way. I think I've been working a lot the last couple years, and most of the musicians I know happen to be teachers there now. So kind of happened into that way. But also, Ernie and I have been friends since before the music school or any of the Townsppl songs. So, it works both ways, I guess.
I also want to make mention, she's not here today, but the reason that we know and love Kiki Brown of the Buckle Downs is because we first saw her singing at background vocals with Townsppl. So thank you for bringing Kiki into our lives.
Well, thank Kiki for being amazing. Yeah.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
I met Kiki at actually, the dad of one of my guitar students was like, I'm playing at Club Cafe, and do you want to open up for me solo? And I did, and Kiki and Hutch, who have sang a lot of, Richard Hutchins, who have sang a lot of background for Townsppl, were there singing background for the other band. And then, and so I met her that night, and I was like, oh, they're really awesome. And then literally the next day, I was like trying to figure out who was going to help me sing backup for my first album, and my wife ran into Kiki at work. Apparently they worked together and had just met each other last night, and we're like, wait a second.
That's so Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was
such a Pittsburgh story. The new album Twigs, it's out now, and you mentioned Casey Hanner is here of Denora, and her brother Jake Hanner actually produced this album Twigs. And how did you come to work with Jake?
So, Twigs is the second Townsppl album. The first one, Karen Feeding, from 2013. I was working on the songs for that. I'd call them the demos, but with this project, the demos kind of become the eventual songs anyway. There's not like a stop and re-record everything professionally. I'm like doing a lot of it at home and stuff too. So I was kind of working on it. I had most of the songs I wanted to put on the album halfway done or so, and then I was all alone, and I was like, I want to, I'd like to have another voice in here, but somebody that could also engineer and mix and advise as far as the technical side of the recordings, and I am a big fan of Denora's music, and also a lot of other bands that Jake has produced, which is a long list in Pittsburgh. So I kind of cold emailed him, I guess, and went out there and showed him what I was working on, and he was into it. So
wow,
yeah,
that's cool. We are live and direct with Townsppl. The new album is Twigs, and I have a lot of questions, Alex, about you and how you grew up and everything like that. But maybe we can hear a couple more songs and then come back and talk about Mr. Rogers.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, great. It's 91.3 WYEP.
Okay, don't blink.
Hey Ma, can you see me now? Head in the real clouds, man, what a view. The starlight we dreamt of our whole lives, springing from satellites and bending to you. verse in the big world, praying to YouTube like you taught me to. You said to hold yourself to the stars. They don't look so big from where you are. Hear them whisper your name, responding to our very first radio waves. First challenge to space, it's your time. Take a drink with the gods. Don't blink. And hey friends, thanks for the comments. Sure see you in 10, I felt that way too. Oh, and hey ma, it's not like we don't talk. When did I get so tall? Guess it's just what happens when you hold yourself to the stars. They don't look so big from where you are. Oh, hear them whisper your name, responding to our very first radio waves. First challenge to space, it's your time. Take a drink with the gods. Don't blink. Hold yourself to the stars. They don't look so big from where you are. Hear them whisper your name, responding to our very first radio waves. First challenge to space, it's your time. Take a drink with the gods. Don't blink.
So this next one is called The Road to End Up. Sort of stops in the middle of a sentence, the title. So, good.
Patience, my son. The money will come. Holster your doubt, and remember that the world is round. The road to end up alone. The signs you seek were taken long ago. The road will make us animals. The lines we cross will never cross our minds. Go forth, my son. Doesn't matter how far you've come, farther than me, farther than the eye can see. The road to end up all over. The signs you seek were taken long ago. The road will make us animals. The signs you seek were taken long ago. Wait until dawn, and the thunder moves along. Time it just arrived. Get away under the cover of night. The road to end up all over. The signs you seek were taken long ago. The road will make us animals. The lines we cross will never cross our minds. Go, my son. Doesn't matter how far you've gone, farther than me, farther than the eye can go forth, my son. Doesn't matter how far you've gone, farther than me, farther than the eye can see.
Thanks.
91.3 WYEP, live and direct with Townsppl. The new album is Twigs, and we've been talking to frontman Alex Stanton. And you have a very interesting connection to Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, so my mom was a part of the art department there when I was a little kid, so I got to be on the show a couple times, and I got
you
to
meet him, too?
play on the... Oh yeah, lots of times we met him. Got to play on the Neighborhood of Make Believe as a kid too, which was cool. But so yeah, my first guitar came through there too because Joe Negri, who's a beloved Pittsburgh jazz guitarist, also was part of the show whenever they did a music shop scene, and they would get donations from different instrument companies. So Martin gave some guitars to the show, and after the music shop scene, they sold them and gave them away to the cast and crew and such. So I was the benefactor of one of those in 9th grade, and it was like pretty much. I guess I got 2 guitars from Mr. Rogers from that, and the second one was the Martin that was like the real one. The other one was like it was sitting in the corner of the room, and I was like, it was this Ovation. It was really hard to play. I'd never played before. It didn't look that cool. And I was like, yeah, I might play guitar at some point. And then it was like, oh, well, we can get you this Martin. And then that was the one that I actually started playing guitar on, if that makes sense.
And you didn't realize that like what you had like the BMW of like acoustic guitars.
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, I think they were trying to describe that to me, but I didn't figure it out until.
When did you come to recognize like how significant a Martin guitar was?
Yeah, about a month. Yeah.
I love that story because on the flip side of that, you have kind of like a thing for inventing bizarre instruments and using like less than stellar and not in tune pieces of equipment, which is an interesting juxtaposition to learn that your first guitar was like a Martin guitar. But where does that drive that like kind of, I want to make music on weird things come from?
I think like, I don't know, I've always been about like being really resourceful and trying to, make stuff out of what I have on hand or like what's lying around in the basement or whatever. Both like, just making things, but also with music or cooking or kind of business, whatever else I happen to be doing. So, and with the Townsppl records, they actually kind of all started with this guitar that Ernie's playing over here, which I just saw it on Craigslist and I thought it looked really cool. I was actually getting it for the music school because we always need to have just a bunch of random guitars there for kids to play and stuff. And it's this Harmony parlor guitar from the 60s. It was only $60. It smelled really bad at first. But I bought it on Craigslist and then I started playing it. I was like, this is really hard to play. Like, no kid is going to be able to. This is a bad guitar for a beginner, even though it looks small. And then I put new strings on it and I was like, whoa, it sounds totally different. Like, it sounds really. Do you want to play it for us just a little bit so we. It sounds like weird and banjo-y and kind of like boxy, twangy kind of sound that like just as soon as I got it home, I just sat down and wrote a bunch of songs for it, kind of. And that was, so everything else that it kind of goes on the recordings was sort of built around that. And because that thing doesn't sound really slick or professional, it made sense to like reach for pots and pans instead of drums and things like that. Yeah.
So you've been in other Pittsburgh groups. The one that I know is that you were also in 28 North. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So 28 North, if you're not familiar, they don't live here. Do they live in LA? No?
I think, yeah. I think they might be back here or somewhere else now.
So
sort of lost touch. Yeah.
They may or may not be in Pittsburgh now. If they are, hello, 28 North. So they seem like kind of very, and correct me if I'm wrong, like very kind of like structured and ambitiously like pop driven in a way, which is not it's not a bad thing at all, but it doesn't seem to align with your persona. What was that experience like for you?
Well, that was really the first thing that I did musically that was serious, after like garage bands in high school or whatever. And I think so, we were trying to be a rock band, trying to sound really professional. And so first of all, I learned a lot about songwriting and singing and guitar playing and recording and arranging and stuff from that experience. But also, I think I came out of it sort of, having a craving for things that sounded not quite as like put together, and still do kind of.
You took out the pots and pans.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, let's make a band. Okay. One more question. You and your wife are going to have a baby. Did you have the baby yet?
That's right. No.
Okay. That's awesome.
Due date is January 29th, so very soon. Yeah.
Very soon.
Could be happening now.
Yeah, it could be happening right now.
Hopefully not. So everything is going to change for you after that. But how has it been like getting ready? Have you built the baby any experimental tube amps or written any whimsical lullabies?
No. I mean, it's going fine. We're getting ready. We're trying to stay pretty relaxed about it because we watch people have crazy first babies and then relaxed second babies when they chill out. So we're trying to do that the first time. There's going to be lots of musical instruments around, and like a whole music school. So, but maybe it'll be a sports baby. Who knows?
Right. You got to be open-minded
Yeah,
about
totally
that kind of stuff.
open-minded
Yeah,
about that.
we're live and direct with the Pittsburgh band Townsppl. The new album is Twigs. I didn't see any dates on the calendar.
I'm working on a few things. There's definitely going to be some shows in the next few months.
Got to
but-
have a baby first.
Exactly.
And then we'll get back on the calendar. But the new album, Twigs, is a wonderful listen, and it's been great to have you guys in this afternoon. How about one more?
Sure, yeah,
right.
thanks so much for having me.
It's 91.3 WYEP, live and direct with Townsppl.
This one is called Twigs.
At 10, we hid outside. We counted cold times and lied. The hills were steeper then. We kicked our shoes off before going inside. The sticks we saw as guns. Twig can't pull trigger and a nodded side. Oh, 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 I know you'd follow me anywhere. I seem to have lost my way. Way back when the water was potable, we knew how to be lost. At 10, they throw the lights, unrealistically expecting quiet. The nights were darker then. We knew they'd come, but just didn't know when. The change, so heavy now, was nothing to us and should be again. Oh, 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 I know you'd follow me anywhere. I seem to have lost my way. Way back when the water was potable, we knew how to be lost, lost, lost. The 10 years that we ran were nothing to us but won't come again. The hills we finally passed, only to see to the mountains at last. I've led my friends so far, only to turn and ask where we are. I know you'd follow me anywhere. I seem to have lost my way. Way back when the water was potable, we knew how to be lost, lost, lost.
91.3 WYEP. We're live and direct with the Pittsburgh group Townsppl. Check out the new album Twigs. It's on all of your listening services available worldwide. Great. All right. Thanks very much for coming in, and we'll send it back to Rosemary on 91.3 WYEP.
Thanks, everybody.